Well, it was almost 3 months ago since my last hero profile, and the reviews were mixed considering my channel got popular with Left 4 Dead content, but foregoing all that BS, here's a new Overwatch video. This week we are covering the hot topic shopping, life is pain chanting if Linkin Park and Evanescence had a kid, don't get within 2,000 feet of a school, calling shotgun before entering a car,
I call shotgun.
You can't do that!
gassy edgelord himself. This week we are doing hero profiles. Reaper. Born in Los Angeles, California, a young Gabriel Reyes joined the U.S. military as a young adult, quickly rising to the rank of a senior officer. After a few years in the military ranks, Gabriel returned to the U.S. as a veteran, where his merits and honor piqued the interest of the American government, who inducted him, as well as Jack Morrison, into the Soldier Enhancement Program. Kinda reminds me of Master Chief. This program had successfully done what it had sought out to do and amplified each participant's speed, strength, and agility. It was during this time that Gabriel and Jack were both respectively aliased as Soldier 24 and Soldier 76, possibly hinting at how much sooner Gabriel had been considered before Jack, but the two showed a quick brotherly relationship regardless. Years into the program, the Omnic Crisis began as numerous countries around the globe struggled to quell the revolt. The United Nations had hastily begun to develop a unified task force of elite personnel trained in not only the body but mind from all descents, creeds, and nations. Naturally, the US was eager to showcase the fruits of its labor, and when the checklist for potential agents included military personnel Gabriel Reyes and Jack Morrison, Jack and Gabriel happily accepted. Gabriel was quickly appointed a leading role over the Overwatch task force, although Jack was better suited in communicating and establishing relationships within the organization that would bridge its people's many diverse attributes and abilities. However, Jack's higher role over Reyes was not a key factor in their rift, as Jeff Kaplan stated that Reyes was happy for Morrison to have the more political role and be number 2, as there would be less accountability. The strike force was able to unifiedly stop the Omnic Crisis and bring a temporary time of peace. The UN appointed Jack as the strike commander of Overwatch, but more information on that if I ever get to the Soldier 76 profile. Reyes was briefly considered the position, but because of his screw the by the books loose cannon mentality, was quickly tossed out.
That cannon of yours is against regulations. In this department, we go by the book.
By book.
Not long after the Omnic Crisis did the organization called Talon rise up to cause turmoil across the globe, with the objective of strengthening humanity through conflict. By occupying Europe with trafficking illegal arms, substances, and even assassinating certain targets, Overwatch was quick to counteract them. Gerard LaCroix established an undercover Black Ops branch of Overwatch unknown to the UN, appropriately titled Blackwatch, to bring down Talon's kingpin of the underworld, Antonio Bartolotti. Gerard valued Gabriel's sense of justice and appointed him the commander of Blackwatch field operations. One of the first objectives accomplished by the Reyes-led Blackwatch was a sting operation on the notorious weapons trafficking group, the Deadlock Gang, near Route 66 in the US. This led to the apprehension of a few high-profile figures in the gang, including one Jesse McCree, whose crackshot aim, outlaw history, and resourcefulness under high-pressure situations inspired Reyes to personally offer McCree an ultimatum to either join the ranks of Blackwatch or rot in a maximum security prison. We could see what the choice was, and over the following months, Reaper would become a sort of mentor to Jesse. More Talon activity had been reported in the African city of Cape Town, so a mission forefronted directly by Gerard LaCroix and Gabriel was deployed. A string of currently unknown events develops leading to LaCroix saving Gabriel's life. Gabriel, however, did not want to speak of the matter and just laughs it off. Shortly after the Cape Town affair, Gabriel met with denounced geneticist Moria O'Dielrain, however you pronounce that, to discuss further into genetics. Do I have any Irish fans listening? Tell me how to pronounce that. I'm half Irish and that's just throwing me for a loop. The meeting quickly led to the unethical genetic experiments the red-headed fireball had been known for. These soon would be mutations that would unfold into rather supernatural abilities further into Gabriel's life. Now, with all of what looks like development towards an underhanded betrayal, considering Gabriel had joined forces with a dead-eyed outlaw and an unethical geneticist, some may think Reyes was wholeheartedly against Overwatch. But it seemed as though he still treated its agents as family, even cheerfully showing up as the Headless Horseman during a Halloween party. Eventually, LaCroix called McCree and Reyes to the Blackwatch base in Rome, Italy for a meeting on how to halt Talon operations across the European area by taking down Antonio Bartolotti. Recent intel had discovered Bartolotti had direct influence and connections in the Italian government, and also strategized recent attacks in Oslo, Norway against Overwatch. McCree vouched for a direct confrontation with Antonio at his compound in Venice, but LaCroix LaCroix advised against it due to the outstanding reach Antonio has over Italy and wanted to bide their time to apprehend them. Reyes agreed with LaCroix's approach, but not moments after leaving the Rome base with McCree did the facility explode. Reyes and McCree both had to dig LaCroix from the burning rubble, saving his life, although numerous other Blackwatch agents had perished in the blast. Under the medical care of Dr. Ziegler, LaCroix made a full recovery. However, the Rome incident sparked an unyielding anger and sense of revenge inside Gabriel Reyes. Demanding immediate action from his superior Jack Morrison, the strike commander had to deny his request, stating that an official investigation would be launched. Reyes was already a vigilante when it came to heroism, but this time, matters were too personal to play things by the book for Reyes. The two quarreled on Italian sovereignty with the UN, and any action taken would reflect horribly for Overwatch in the public eye of the world. This disagreement led to Reyes storming out of the room, vainly obeying Jack's direct orders. However, Reyes had flat out lied to his superior. Unbeknownst to Morrison or LaCroix, in gathering the outlaw, the geneticist, and another Blackwatch by the name of Genji Shimada, Gabriel set out to kidnap Antonio in Venice to interrogate him for information on Talon. The stealth mission to invade the high-security compound went off without a hitch the next night, with the four standing before the kingpin of Italy and hive mind in Talon. Antonio scoffed at Gabriel, even calling him by his direct name instead of Soldier 24. He knew with his connections in the Italian government that an abduction would be a PR nightmare for Overwatch, and that prison would only be no less than a week for himself. Reyes, taking matters into his own hands, agreed with Antonio and blew his ass away! Mercy ain't reviving you, sir. McCree, the student of Soldier 24, was blown away by his actions and questioned the man's judgment. The alarms for the manor sounded off instantly as the group had to fight their way out to safety by calling an evac, which is what the Overwatch event Retribution was centered around. McCree and Reaper argued all the way to the rescue chopper as Moira agreed with the results that Gabriel produced. Genji was silent on all of these matters. Upon escaping and returning to the Overwatch Rome facility, Jack Morrison came down on the rebellious Gabriel. The events of the Bartolotti assassination not only spread like wildfire the preceding morning, but the existence of Blackwatch was revealed to the UN and the world as a whole. Reyes would reluctantly be debriefed by his superiors LaCroix, Morrison, and Jack's second-in-command, Ana Amari. Reyes revealed what happened during the rogue mission, but illicitly stated that he held no regrets for what he had done. In his mind, he did the world a favor. While tensions for Overwatch and its now public Blackwatch were rising, the Null Sector uprising in London created more controversy considering the Prime Minister restricted Overwatch intervention after what had happened in Italy. Despite this, McCree was sending reports of a siege at a power plant in London. Since McCree was pretty much the student of Reyes, Morrison demanded to know why an Overwatch agent McCree was in London. Reyes said he was on vacation and any Overwatch limitations were void. Upon leaving the briefing, Reyes left a snide remark about Jack's statue in front of the headquarters, referencing how much of a hero he was. Not long after the Null Sector uprising came Soldier 76 Civil War. The accusations and public discourse against Overwatch came to a head, Reyes seemingly fine with the situation. During unknown events, Reyes had enough of Jack's leadership of the organization and staged a violent rebellion. Gabriel Reyes, leading like-minded Overwatch agents, most likely of Blackwatch, not including Genji and McCree, launched a full-scale attack within Overwatch headquarters against Jack Morrison and his band of heroic cohorts. The epic fight, which Blizzard really needs to make a damn cinematic of, triggered a vicious explosion that crumbled the base, initiating a chain of events that would prohibit all global Overwatch activities for their unpredictable nature and consumed Gabriel and Morrison physically and mentally. Their colleagues and the world reluctantly assumed Soldier 24 and Soldier 76 perished in the internal power struggle of Overwatch, but rumors of a rogue mercenary dressed in black robes soon arose, traveling the world with his own agenda, killing people of all creeds indiscriminately. Very few survived their encounters with the one called Reaper, but those that did were pale, diminishing husks of humans who suffered from cell degradation. During the 6 years of Overwatch's demise, Gabriel Reyes became Reaper, the relentless assassin completely transformed by Moira's genetic experimentation, which forced his cells to simultaneously decay and regenerate at a hyper-accelerated rate. This power allowed him to slip in and out of a vapory blackness at will, which most likely was the reason for Reyes' survival. With his ideals that Overwatch was unnecessary to the world and that they betrayed him, set out on an expedition to thoroughly cleanse the planet of all the self-righteous heroes that once adorned the ranks of the organization. I know, edgy as hell, right? fight. At some point, Reaper joined forces with the very organization that he once fought against and even killed one of its most valuable members, Talon. The alliance was forged to acquire the dossier on all inactive Overwatch agents from their Gibraltar base to discover their whereabouts and assassinate each and every one. Then their plans hit a setback when former Overwatch scientist Winston was still residing in the facility when they breached their way in. The ensuing fight was mainly with Talon underlings keeping Winston pinned down while Reaper downloaded the agent database. Don't know why they didn't get Sombra for this mission, but hey, this was over a year before her reveal. The whispering growth of Talon led to the addition of more members, including Widowmaker, the cold-blooded assassin who murdered Gerard LaCroix, although it's unknown how Gabriel feels about this information. To stoke the fires of the once more powerful organization, Reaper and Widowmaker, under the orders of presumably Maximilian and Omnic, who took over Antonio's power and shared the ideals of empowering humanity through conflict, set out to reclaim the gauntlet of their former leader, Akanda Ogundimu, aka Doomfist, as a full-scale plan to bring him to his former glory. However, the mission to retrieve the gauntlet from Numbani Museum failed after a confrontation with Overwatch's members Tracer and Winston and that Punch Kid. With the mission to acquire the gauntlet failed, Reaper returned to his mission of snuffing out all former Overwatch agents, yet this time was the most crucial hit on his list, Jack Morrison. Soldier 76 had been investigating Talon's actions near the Temple of Anubis in Egypt. Upon taking out an agent, 76 realized a trap had been set by Reaper much too late, as Reaper unloaded a shotgun blast square into his back. Reaper revealed how he knew 76's line of strategy before lining his shot for the kill until a sniper shot him in the arm, stunning him and healing 76. The moment of shock gave 76 enough time to retaliate in a man-on-man fistfight. Reaper stuns 76 again with a sucker punch and vapes his way behind the rogue sniper, an individual that was sabotaging all Talon and Helix activities in the area. Reaper realized right on sight it was the former second-in-command Ana Amari. He tells her she, much like him and Soldier, was another ghost from the past and that she would always take Jack's side. Ana is able to stumble Reaper and bring him to ground level where she unmasks the assassin, unveiling the disfigured face of the former Gabriel Reyes. It is unknown at this time what the explosion did to him, but the mix of the damage he suffered and the genetic mutations he underwent would have caused enough damage that even Ana was horrified at the sight of his face. With his identity revealed, Reaper decided to leave, but not before uttering to his former ally that Overwatch, and namely Jack Morrison, well, he said this to Ana: "He did this to me, Ana. They left me to become this thing. They left you to die and me to suffer," revealing that he felt some remorse for what happened to her, but still kept his mindset that the organization ultimately betrayed him and his beliefs. Months passed, and one of Talon's more profit-driven leaders, Viali, ordered the assassination of Katya Volskaya, the current CEO of Volskaya Industries, a prominent Russian anti-Omnic security force in St. Petersburg. The team deployed consisted of Widowmaker, Sombra, and Reaper. Reaper's part in this assassination attempt was to use his fog-like form to stealthily infiltrate the city and take her out in close quarters, yet a triggered alarm changed those plans. He ended up taking out security while Widowmaker attempted her form of assassination. Reaper was temporarily subdued by an armored mech while Sombra was left to off Volskaya. Reaper managed to take down the mech and was informed by Sombra that the mission had failed, yet later on, his suspicions of the hacker would show that she kept her alive for personal gain. Despite failing to obtain the gauntlet months prior, Maximilian covertly ordered Reaper to break Akanda out of prison against the wishes of Viali. The mission was swift due to an Italian mole amongst the Helix security forces in the compound. Reaper was able to gun down dozens of guards before finally freeing the former leader. Reaper, being his ever-cool self, only mutters, "You're late," upon meeting him. Immediately following the breakout, Reaper relayed recent activities to his boss, saying that the assassination of Volskaya failed because of Sombra. Despite Reaper's contempt at Sombra for allowing Volskaya to live, Akanda, however, saw it as a better option, seeing the value of keeping her alive. After speaking of Mondata's assassination, Reaper eagerly informed Doomfist that he had been busy extinguishing former Overwatch agents. Doomfist was quick to ask if Jack Morrison and Ana Amari were among the kill count. When Reaper said no, Doomfist asked if he still had feelings for the two. Being his edgy self, Reaper gave a somber "no." The two dominant figures, Maximilian and Doomfist, met during a masquerade with their top agents disguised lying in wait, Reaper cloaked in red and a skull. Maximilian and Doomfist inquired about bringing Talon to its original intent of power through conflict, and not an organization focused on profit. So this meant Viali's ideals were no longer necessary. Viali, wanting to keep the organization about profit, ordered the assassination of Doomfist, but Reaper was quick to intercept any agents that were heading there and completely blew them away. And shortly after the events, Doomfist himself killed Viali. With the death of Viali came the rebirth of Talon, and Reaper becoming a more integral member of the organization as they began to formulate the seeds of a new war. This concludes the story of Gabriel Reyes, aka Reaper, the rogue, edgy agent who feels outcasted by Overwatch and seeks his revenge on his former allies and the world at whole. But before we wrap things up, some trivia might be good to end things out on. Some have hypothesized why Gabriel decided to adorn the skull and black robe as his primary way of disguising his face. Besides the whole edgy and trying to fill the Reaper role, some say the mask is an homage to the symbol of the defunct Blackwatch and the colors reflecting that as well. Plus, his dark robes would blend and disguise more well with the black mist that his body emits when vaporizing. Reaper has always had a preference for dual-wielding shotguns, although for any normal man, this would be impossible to do. The sheer weight of each shotgun to be held by one hand and withstanding the recoil from each shot would prove to be too much for one person. However, Gabriel was modified in the Soldier Enhancement program, so much like the Master Chief, his body can most likely withstand so much more shock, pressure, and punishment. Although Reaper's preferred weapon is dual-wielding shotguns, his bandolier is seen holding grenade shells, which he did use in the attack on New Bonnie Museum. Where he gets these guns is a mystery, however, considering reloading for the gentleman seems a bit tricky. He may use his ability to dematerialize and rematerialize may be in full effect with numerous combat shotguns. Seeing the use of a seemingly infinite supply of weapons, Reaper found a quicker way of dealing out damage by just switching out fully loaded guns instead of just reloading shell by shell into an auto shotgun. Reaper's abilities were originally thought to be an accidental side effect of Mercy's resurrection abilities, leaving Reaper half dead and half alive. But upon release of Moira, this theory was retconned. It is unknown what Reaper's intentions are after Overwatch's remnants are extinguished, but it seems he holds high regards for Doomfist and Talon's revitalized efforts, so it seems he will follow in the mindset that war is the necessary evil for mankind and peace will never work. Edgy. Now that about covers the big Gabe. Did I miss anything? Not liking the Overwatch content? Too bad. Who should I cover next? Leave a like, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Who knows when the next profile will be out, considering Tracer was literally 3 months ago. Follow me on Twitch for future streams. YouTube live streaming will return in mid-October, and donate to my Patreon to motivate me to make more videos. Special shout out to my Patreon and former YouTube Super Chat donators, Lovable Tester, Mario, NATO6141, Ricardoy Ascension, Shill RB Turtlelord, Katya's Left Eyelash, Twilight Duck, Lucio shooting the ball into his own goal, Castle Live, Exploding Burritos Experience, Momoka, Chrissy Cogswell, Ninja Kirby 935, Ghost 115, Fishy, Owen Stebbins, Nicholas Stevens, Waffle Lover 27, UI Adam, Niels L, Maria Moran, Taylor 07, Rees Tail, Star Trust, Alejandro Castellanos, Wolf Death, Bryson Jones, Midnight, Zack Attack the Gamers, Bob Nuggets, and Slothic Goth. Thank you for helping me, my wowzers. Until next time, I'm Zack Ass of WowSuch Gaming. Stay wake me up inside. I can't wake up inside. Save me from the end. It doesn't even matter.
Right on the ass.